It's not every day that you'll see NBA legends saying terrible things about each other in a public setting.
I wouldn't get Charles Barkley an apology at gunpoint.
But when you do, it always makes for good entertainment, and we're all here for it. From full-on media confrontations to petty Twitter beefs, we've covered all the smoke, and we want to bring you the 7 times we caught NBA legends being nasty about each other on record. Starting with the 11-time All-Star and the TNT host with a megaphone for a mouth, Charles Barkley. While Barkley has a history of getting into these squabbles quite often, this little nugget of a comment about Draymond Green makes it to our list when Charles Barkley went like,
I want to punch his ass in the face, I do.
Barkley was apparently tired of Draymond's antics after Golden State's Game 2 of the conference semifinals versus the New Orleans Pelicans in the 2018 playoffs, the series which the Warriors won 4-1, but Barkley's comments about Draymond stole the show. Draymond clapped back with a comment of his own, and it went like,
"If you feel that strongly about it, then punch me in my face when you see me."
It all escalated pretty quickly, so much so that even Draymond's mom got involved, and she took some shots at Barkley with her tweets, reigniting the memories of Barkley's old feud with Dr. J and saying that Shaq had him running. You go, Mrs. Green. Jumping quickly to number 6, we've got Paul Pierce and his somewhat absurd takes on LeBron James, including but not limited to not putting him in his all-time top 5 to saying,
"I would trade LeBron James."
If the Lakers had managed to get Zion Williamson. This has gone on for so long that there are literal compilation videos of Paul Pierce hating on LeBron. And while another legend and former teammate of both Pierce and King James, the man himself, Kendrick Perkins, was kind enough to give some backstory to the feud, revealing how Paul Pierce spat in the direction of the Cavaliers bench.
Paul actually spits over there at the bench, right? The ultimate disrespect, okay?
It still hasn't gotten better because Kendrick did say that
ever since that moment, LeBron James and Paul Pierce hate each other. They don't speak to each other, even now today.
Will this get better? We don't know. But we hope King James and Paul Pierce continue to entertain us for years to come. Moving to number 5 is one of the most famous feuds of all time, and this one is between 2 teammates. And yes, we're talking about the legendary Shaquille O'Neal versus the now late Kobe Bryant spat, which lasted years. Starting with Shaq igniting the said feud when the Lakers traded for Kobe in the 1996 draft, and Shaq said, "I'm not gonna be babysitting," supposedly referring to the then 18-year-old Kobe Bryant. The feud continued to escalate despite the pair's on-court success, where Shaq went as far as to say, "I think Kobe is playing too selfishly for us to win." Bryant himself had publicly once admitted that they were not friends.
Were you guys friends?
No.
Shaq went to attack Bryant after the Lakers' dismal record in 2001, saying, "When it was clear that everything went through me, the outcome of it was a record of 67-15, playing with enthusiasm, the city jumping up and down, and a parade. And now we're 23-11. You figure it out." To which Bryant responded by putting things into perspective about changing things and embracing growth. Tensions continued with Bryant talking about Shaq's lack of defensive effort and Shaq calling himself the big dog, saying the house won't be guarded if the big dog isn't him. In their last years together, shots were traded continuously where Kobe called Shaq fat and out of shape, took shots at him for begging for a contract extension, and even called him unprofessional in a fiery ESPN interview. O'Neal expressed that Kobe could have spoken up on his departure, and the Miami Heat trade. Both traded shots about paying hush money for sexual encounters with women, and on and on and on, until the feud lost its steam and both of them started showing mutual respect for each other in later years. While all certainly has been well since a number of years that the beef was squashed, this legendary storyline and its impact on the success of the Lakers and the individual careers of Kobe and Shaq cannot be understated. The two in their respective media appearances have continued to say brutal things about each other, but eventually showed a degree of respect, especially after Shaq gave an emotional tribute to his late teammate. And now at number 4, we have a rather cheeky attempt instead of a supremely disrespectful one from the Golden State Warriors guard and currently 4-time NBA champion Klay Thompson. And this jab is special because it hit back in dividends. Why? Because Klay thought it was a good idea to diss the then 2-time and currently 4-time NBA champion, the king himself, LeBron James. While the Cavs were down 3-1, Klay Thompson said in his post-game media appearance that LeBron's feelings may have been hurt because of a remark.
I guess his feelings just got hurt.
LeBron's response was legendary to say the least. He just looked at the camera and laughed. The outcome? The Cavs went on to win 3 straight games in the most historic NBA Finals comeback of all time, as they won Game 5, 6, and 7 to close the series, and LeBron had the last laugh, winning his first title with Cleveland. Before we reveal our top 3, we would just love it if you would take the time and like this video, and more importantly, subscribe to our channel to show some love. We love making these videos for your entertainment, and we'd love to keep going. So do make sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon to get instant notifications for when we upload new content, and stay connected. Jumping to number 3, we have another legendary feud between Charles Barkley, and this time, he went toe-to-toe with NBA's ultimate sidekick, Scottie Pippen, who themselves were teammates at a time for one season at the Houston Rockets in the 1998-99 season. When the Rockets were thrashed from the playoffs and Scottie demanded a trade, Barkley expressed disappointment on how the organization went out of their way to get Scottie, and he left after 1 year. Pippen clapped back with the ultimate disrespect as he said,
If anything, he owed me an apology for coming to play with his sorry fat butt.
ouch! The beef was reignited about 2 decades later when Scottie dissed Barkley about his lack of successive winning, and Barkley responded yet again, pointing at Scottie's new book and bourbon release, saying,
all of a sudden I'm a bad guy because you got a book and a bourbon coming out. I just kind of felt sad.
The feud is currently at peace, but it damn well made for some great entertainment. And moving to our top 2 is our selection, which is perhaps the only Twitter beef in the list, where the legendary Shaquille O'Neal was at the heart of the controversy, trading jabs with the Slim Reaper and the 2-time NBA champion Kevin Durant. It all started when Shaq said this about the now Lakers and then Washington Wizards player Rui Hachimura.
If you ain't a top 10 player, I don't know who you are. I'm not watching the Bullets or the Wizards.
What he forgot was that Rui Hachimura was indeed a top 10 draft pick, and KD wasted no time in trolling Shaq. What followed was a back and forth of tweets between the two legends of the game, where KD even dragged Charles Barkley into the feud, as he had called him a bus rider for coasting along with title-winning teams. And KD just started posting Barkley's pictures with his teammates on his Instagram stories, making this feud arguably the pettiest on the list. Which brings us to the number 1 feud on the list, featuring shots being traded pound for pound by the Beard, James Harden, and the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. It started with Giannis boinking Harden with a wayward, harmless pass, but it started escalating with the Houston Rockets disagreeing with the MVP decision about Giannis's first ever accolade in since then deleted tweets. Harden continued to make his case for MVP against Giannis, quoting stats after stats, following which Giannis refused to pick Harden in the All-Star draft in hilarious fashion.
I want somebody that's gonna pass the ball. That's what I want.
Harden added how he wished he was 7 feet and could just run and dunk in another feisty attack on Giannis, claiming a need of skill to play ball and how James will be more appreciated once he retires.
When it's all said and done, they'll appreciate it more. But I wish I could just run and with 7 feet and run and just dunk. Like, that takes no skill at all.
While the two simmered the feud over the coming months or so, it was Giannis who landed a big blow, with him taking home the NBA championship in 2021 and the finals MVP with it, as Harden has been in search of his first title and continues to make a splash with the Philadelphia 76ers. And that brings us to the end of the video. Do make sure you like this for more interesting content, subscribe to our channel to become part of our community, and hit the bell icon to receive notifications on whenever we upload new content. See you soon in our next video. Until then, let us know in the comments what your favorite NBA feud is that you'd like us to cover next. Have a good one.